Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we've got word of a major source of creative fatigue in WWE.
Kevin Knight chooses AEW over WWE.
A very important update on Drew McIntyre's eyeball.
And The Rock clarifies his relationship with Da Punker.
Yes, hello, Andrew Murray here.
Michael Hamflett also.
It's the news. Right, let's kick this one off by talking about... And stop us if you think you've heard this one before, in the words of the Beatles. But this one is about... This one is about SmackDown causing problems. All right. So, I have no idea what
It's causing problems!
It's causing issues. It's running wild.
It's happening.
It's running around the workplace. It's messed up the water cooler. It's eating someone else's banana that didn't belong to it. It's just an absolute monster. But yes, this is a report from WrestleVotes Radio. And yeah, it's about SmackDown. It's about it being too long. It's about it being stretched. It's the usual SmackDown report here that we're probably going to get every single week until it goes 2 hours in June again. So yeah, apparently a bunch of people in the production and creative teams in WWE, they don't like the extended runtime. They've called it a bit of a misstep. And instead of giving rising stars more time to shine and people who aren't on TV, giving them more opportunities, I hate that word, it has just led to things being elongated. It's caused pacing problems. It's led to a bunch of filler content. Some people are glad that this isn't permanent. It is going back to 2 hours in June. We know that. Obviously, that is still like 3 months away. But, well, again, no, it's April tomorrow, 2 months.
Yeah,
there you go, boom.
God.
It's coming. It's coming.
It'll feel like 6 months when you're watching it this Friday again.
It feels like 6 months in the space of that 3 hours sometimes, the poor thing. The poor thing, like it's a little dog that's been kicked or something. Come on. You can fetch the stick, SmackDown.
Yeah.
That's the eel. But yeah, the phrase they used was creative fatigue. There's a bit of creative fatigue. And there's a bunch of frustration growing relating to this. So it's interesting. They did hire Road Dogg to be the co-lead writer of this show. I don't think SmackDown in general has been a great show in 2025, but definitely since Road Dogg came in, maybe it's gone from like a 6 to like a 3.
Yeah.
A lot of weeks. What do you think? You're a big smack man.
Yeah, that's what I've always called myself that, and yet it's getting harder than ever in 2025 to be walking down the street being like, "Hey, I'm the Smack Man," because like, what? Even after Friday's episode, I know.
I'm a Smack Man.
Time to keep it raw. Look, I believe every one of these frustrations that keep creeping out about SmackDown because I watch the show every week.
Yeah.
It's breathing through it. The talent don't seem particularly motivated. The audience, with exceptions, kind of start to lose interest as the show very clearly drags and doesn't feel particularly timed out or paced out, whatever it is. It's also very hard not to witness week after week after week a new story about the various strife or changes or anything about SmackDown coming out without, thinking a little bit dreadful and thinking a little bit like the game playing the game because he's watching it and knowing it sucks too. It's almost like trying to get in front of the critics by making excuses, and then the excuses being out there, so when like another week passes and another week where people go, that stunk, the idea is, well, there's already an army of excuses lined up because week after week after week you're hearing why SmackDown isn't working. I think both things can be true, genuinely. I think they are probably looking to get across the obvious negatives that are going to be fired at SmackDown. Look, it's the only, at this point, USA Network property WWE have. That relationship remains important to both companies, both sides. I'm sure.
It's just giving me a runny nose.
Well, that's fair.
There you
That's
go.
fair. Like, if we were talking about the other day on a podcast, I think it was, about like how the Netflix deal, Netflix have got that like halfway get out clause.
Yes.
You just know USA would love to get Raw back, given the opportunity.
Oh, yeah,
so like keeping both sides sweet is something they need to do. So WWE won't love that everybody's every week going, SmackDown stinks, I'm not going to watch it. And USA Network thinking, is this the first time in ages we don't like our WWE deal? They'll be happy with the numbers, but
They'll be happy with the advertisements on the third hour.
That's it.
That's what it always comes down to from the network standpoint, right? Are they?
That's why we had 3 hour Raws, regardless of how poor the quality was. It's just, I think this is going to be a cycle now until we get the 2 hours back, and then that works positively towards the 2 hour change because it'll only take the smallest of improvements creatively, and everybody will immediately go, oh, thank God the 3 hour era is over. The only reason it sucked is because of the 3 hour era, not because creatively they've been a bit lazy.
Yeah, it's just very, very difficult to make. But then I was about to make the argument there that actually it's difficult to make a compelling 3-hour show. But Triple H did it with Raw earlier.
Raw got great
in his run. Yeah,
end of the 3 hours.
So it's like, and it was extremely well received.
Yeah.
It's like, look at the reaction to the shows and stuff. It does feel recently there has been a bit of a change in the way certain WWE shows are received, at least amongst online wrestling fans. I do think there is a bit of a disconnect sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you sit down, you watch SmackDown on a Friday night. To me, it feels like a slog, which is a shame because there is stuff I really enjoy on there. Like, I love Jacob Fatu, obviously. Who doesn't love Jacob Fatu? But then you look at stuff like why is Andrade not wrestling? And it's like, I don't think Andrade's like the best wrestler alive or anything, but he is great, and he could fill 10 of your or 12 or 15 minutes by just having a little firecracker match every. Doesn't even need to be every week, just every now and then. There's a lot of people like that who are kind of stuck. And I like Chelsea Green. I like the Hervis. She's just collecting Scottish people. There is stuff I enjoy on that show every single week, but it's not particularly well filled out, and it is more of a pacing issue, I think, than anything else.
Phoned in some dodgy results booking wise as well. That smacks a little bit of Road Dogg. Like seeing these DQs and countouts, and the heel gets the win, but the babyface gets the heat back. All that creeping.
But wins and losses don't matter. So
that's what he always said.
Shout out to Brian Dogg.
No, never got past that one.
Was it him that played the dog in Family Guy, Brian Dogg?
Yes, that's right. It was Brian Dogg. That's right. Because when he got hit by that car, it was because he was on the road, and that's how Road Dogg got his name.
Boom.
There you go. That's how it
Solved it. We've shouted out the Beatles. We've shouted out Family Guy. What more do you want on the news?
Peak Simpsons. And speaking of absolutely nothing to do with that, Kevin Knight was announced as being all elite by one of those familiar Tony Khan tweets, announcing his signing over the weekend. And there's just a little bit of, WWE/AEW news attached to this signing. So PW Insider were the ones to come through to report that Knight had actually received an invited tryout from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando just several weeks ago, but in the end decided to sign with AEW. Yeah, these tryouts, obviously, that you sometimes see shot for footage on the socials or on TV or whatever. Some of them are like kind of open invitation deals where people can come out and like give it the best for the fair. Some involve people that have been isolated for praise by scouts, or people that have been keeping an ear the ground on talent and want them into the Performance Centre to see if they can potentially get them close to a deal. It's more than just can you bump, can you feed, can you do your squat drills and all of that. So it seems like they had an eye on Kevin Knight, and AEW got to his signature first. Must be nice to be in demand. It's certainly a great way to start your AEW career with that kind of momentum, isn't it? To be thought of as being wanted by both North American majors. Yeah. And I guess we'll see. There was a ton of praise for the signing over the weekend as well. I wouldn't say he came in with like massive fanfare as such. This is not one of those, and nor would it have made sense to be one of those AEW Dynamite huge announcements. Somebody's come in, like drop the lights, and then out comes the big star. But once the news got announced on X, on Twitter, and on the various socials, huge outreach of positivity over it.
On the back of a match with Jay White on Collision that was well received as well. So like it's a whole building cycle of things, isn't it?
It's one of them ones where it's almost like it scans as a and here's your reward for your great match. One of those like sort of now go change the world, kid. That kind of ones.
I think I'm not surprised that a wrestler like Kevin Knight would choose AEW over WWE in this scenario. He probably he's come up in New Japan, and you know, a lot of people had him pinpointed as a potential really high level junior heavyweight prospect there. And he's obviously chose to go full time in America. But if he wants to be a wrestler first and foremost, well, that's a far more wrestling centric product, especially compared to NXT. You know, aside from the odd, bi-monthly supercards or whatever. I think he will probably learn things that are better for him as a wrestler in AEW, where he'll just go out and have banger matches, and he won't. I'm going to insult NXT. He won't have to go to Shawn Michaels' kitchen where he'll have to learn how to take selfies and do porno acting backstage, and all this.
We all learn how the business works at different times.
It's a different product.
It certainly is,
with a very different skill set, and obviously it comes at a time when a bunch of people are moving from AEW to WWE with your Ricky Saints and your Ray Phoenix is coming this week. Aleister Black's going back, all of this stuff. But yeah, I think Knight is a good fit for AEW. I do worry, maybe I'm just being a cynic, I don't know, but I worry about high-level wrestler development in 2025. I think that I don't think that either system is particularly great, to be honest. In the so-called major leagues of American wrestling, I think that the death of the house show schedule is great on many ways because it means people are home more often, they're not getting injured as often, and financially those things were making a loss.
Yeah. So the wrestlers are getting paid more per day as well.
So the house show schedule declining has been good in some ways, but in a lot of other ways, it means wrestlers work a lot less. And if you're a growing wrestler, developing wrestler, that's not the best for your progress. You need to be getting reps against higher level people who are better than you, basically. And on the AEW side of things as well, it's like you might wrestle twice a month or something like that. And I know they've got Ring of Honor and stuff as well. But that being said, I do think that Kevin Knight is an extremely promising wrestler with a high ceiling, and I think that he has a really good chance of being a big deal for AEW.
I think that's an interesting point about the development side, on, as you say, on both sides as well, because increasingly, I think for the longest time we were talking about AEW was having this massive roster full of wrestlers of which there's not enough time for. The pendulum's not exactly swinging back the other way, but we were literally just talking about a wrestler in terms of Andrade, and there are others within WWE that are also now starting to experience that as well. Yeah. And we continue to talk about WWE making new signings. It's not just about the necessarily inability to develop within the systems, it's also how to even get a place on television while you're not developing, even to do like character work or stuff like that. So yeah, it would be nice. I am not calling for more wrestling TV shows to facilitate these matches. I want that out there. But yeah, it feels like that we've kind of moved too far away from whatever the compromise was.
Sure.
Or maybe I'm making the odd town or something just to, you've seen this WWE tour recently, and when you've seen the like online footage of people having loads of fun at the house shows and that.
Yeah.
That almost never happens now, does it? Unless they're on these special occasion
like
trips
the international tours and stuff.
I think we need a tiny bit more of that. It must be so great to have that off-camera interaction with the fans where we get to experiment a bit.
Yeah, they do have Evolve, I guess. That is like WWE a step in, having a developmental for the developmental, which is a funny concept.
I saw Vonnie Wags turning out for Ring of Honor, I think it was.
Cal Bloom, sir.
The big man is back.
He's got a couple 12-ounce curls for you, Cal. Right, let's talk about Drew McIntyre's eyeball. You ready for an update on Drew's eye?
Eye.
Eye the new. There you go.
That's what you say, right?
Eye the Drew.
That's good stuff.
It's in my eye. He got car windshielded on SmackDown.
He did. That's
Damian Priest put him through a car windshield and then went to Sweet Chin Disco afterwards.
He did. Hang with Wilborn, yeah.
But yeah, so obviously it's a reference to Jack Perry and CM Punk, because CM Punk walked past a minute later. I tweeted the other day, and I got a bunch of for this, that CM Punk should stop referencing AEW in promos because no one reacts in the arena. No one reacts in the arena when he goes, I was in a backstage fight. And I like CM Punk.
Punched a kid.
But it doesn't get over.
No.
This was really funny,
was
on the other hand.
Really
but yes, so PW Insider, Mike Johnson, shocking that this report is coming from PW Insider with the update on Drew McIntyre. Really detailed update.
Yeah.
Drew had to have something removed from his eyeball after this, but it wasn't a piece of glass, apparently. So sources have indicated that while he did receive this treatment, they had originally reported it was for a piece of glass. It wasn't. There was just something in his eyeball. Must be some kind of, I don't know, hair particle from Damian Priest because he's got long hair. So does Drew. That doesn't make any sense.
Watch out for Seth Rollins, man. He'll poke that eye right out.
He will. It just
loves that.
Like that. Poor Rey Mysterio. He's never been the same, has he? Recyclops, they call him now. Got one eye.
Crush, kill, destroy. Oh God, Rey Mysterio is it?
Gosh. Apparently, he was checked out by medical before leaving SmackDown. Drew was, and he was wearing an eye patch backstage after the angle. There is a photo of him going around with an eye patch. Although I never know if these things are AI these days. Who knows? It might have been Grok that made that. Or
AI.
What are the other ones? Johnny Five.
There's the Grokker. Chat PGA Tour.
Chat Big T.
What's that other one? There's that one that's like. What's the one that's making all the Pokemon animations at the moment?
Studio Ghibli.
Thank you.
That's the one.
Yeah, Studio
That's
Ghibli.
the one. But we just killed.
People like that, is that bad?
Just killed our time. No, it's bad. The Studio Ghibli art is awful.
Yeah.
They should stop doing that because you are killing a good thing.
I love those films, man.
Yeah.
Pig!
Hey, that's my gimmick.
The true Hollywood story.
That's my gimmick. He stop that Beetle boy. But yes, McIntyre was not at a live event in Austria over the weekend, but he wasn't originally scheduled there, so it wasn't because of his eyeball. Yeah, he had something pulled out of his eye. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, get your eye on, Drew.
Aye.
I like Iron Brew Extra. You know, the one that hasn't got the sugar in.
Okay.
I think that it's one of the better. It's not quite Pepsi Max Cherry, but it's one of the better sugar-free, very, very sweet flavoured pops, in my opinion.
I don't like any of these.
None of them are. Not even Iron Brew in a glass bottle.
No, none. I'm very simple. I like Sprite and I like Coke. That's it.
Fair enough.
That's it. And then varieties of like Diet, Zero. I like Pepsi. Sorry, the world. But yeah.
Do you know what might cheer Drew McIntyre up in this time of need? It's another sword off The Rock.
Jesus.
Remember when he was teasing that he might go to AEW and The Rock just stepped on his dick by Rock at his dinner and said, have a sword?
Yeah.
Congratulations on your contract, I need some Instagram content.
Started cutting his steak with
just straight.
Excalibur.
Just took his dinner. Literally took food off his table, which is ironic considering that he was giving him a new contract. Well, speaking of The Rock doing that sort of thing to wrestlers, you may have seen every single time there is discussion about CM Punk main event in WrestleMania, The Rock brackets general. That tweet resurfaces from back in 2012, where The Rock said, here's the reason why I'm in the WrestleMania main event and you're just stupid old CM Punk.
Yeah.
You're a loser, I'm a big star, blah, blah, blah. Rock moved to sort of clarify what the deal is with him and CM Punk here in 2025. This was in response to somebody on Instagram who basically was
being a ball bag.
Being a bit of a loser, being a bit of kind of still real to me about the two of them, and if they were still foo-heading after all of these years. And The Rock said, quote, "First of all, Punk and I have become good buddies over the years. We're solid. Secondly, whatever matchmaking scenario is best for the true long-term, brackets, not short-term business success, that will be our main event." A couple of questions on that, Dwayne, but we'll move straight on because he says, lastly, you're a clown.
Lastly, you're a clown.
You're a clown.
Imagine getting hosed by The Rock.
I know, man. So yeah, this guy was rightfully called a clown online for it. And as we've kind of seen by every single thing he's done on television in the last couple of years, The Rock thinks long term. He definitely does not decide upon a generational heel turn at 8-9 days notice.
No.
And then have nothing to do with it in the aftermath. That's not Rock's game.
No.
That's not Rock's ball.
He would never do that.
He's thinking about the long term health and safety of the company. And that's why him and CM Punk are bros now.
Yeah, that's it. They both love the long-term storytelling that never changes.
God damn.
Either. Yeah, so I think we finally found the identity of the Gundertaker, which is a good one here. Take that, you clown.
That guy.
Yeah.
AEW clown asses.
Take that, AEW clowns. Did he not turn heel on WWE for a bit?
He massively did. Take
that, you WWE clowns.
Turned out Gundertaker had taste because he was watching CWC NXT and going, no, thank you. Get it off me. What is
this? Get it in the bin.
Get it off me.
Get it in the fire. Throw it into the fire. That was NWA Power. And then they got Pantera and it got worse. The Rock is hosing people online. You're not safe. No one's safe.
You're a clown.
Just goes
drill,
to show.
isn't it?
This is it. It's very drill. You're a clown. It goes to show. Don't talk smack about The Rock online because he will find you and he will kill you.
His people are watching.
He has a very particular set of skills that make him very dangerous for people like what is it? As a human trafficker in Taken, isn't it? That Liam Neeson's
never seen it, Never seen any of it.
Yeah, Liam Neeson's a weird guy, but it's a good film.
His name is the kind of just wordy guy from serious flicks, and then all of a sudden overnight he turned into action guy.
I'm the guy.
Yeah,
I'm the guy. I'm the Drew.
I'm not sure on that one.
The Taken 2 and Taken 3 are garbo. Real bad. Yeah.
Taken again. Just keep it closer eye, mate.
Take it back.
Even David Cameron only left his kids in a pub once. Yeah, stop letting your kids get taken.
Well, he left them in the pub once so he could go home and shag a dead pig. To be fair, David Cameron.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
There you go.
Check the facts.
Yeah, crazy. My granddad left my dad in a pub once.
Really?
When he was a baby.
Oh yeah.
When he was a baby. There's a pub in Aberdeen called the Golden Tee, and my granddad took my dad to the pub. Sat him on the bar, got so pissed he forgot him. And the barman was like, "Mr. Murray, you left your kid." And he's like, Oh yeah, nightmare.
It used to be better.
Like 2 years old. You can't do that these days.
No, they're probably against that now.
Fortunately, it's in Torry in Aberdeen, which at the time was a very closely knit community,
yeah.
so it was fine. But
That's good stuff.
That explains why I'm so weird.
The past was better.
Yeah, but it was better. It was better back then. Right. We're off. We'll be back later on today with some Charlotte Flair news.
Yes.
Tiffy. But until then, you should watch or start watching because it's over 2 hours long. You're not mental. 100 greatest WWE WrestleMania moments ever. It's a gangster video.
The past was better.
It was. Yeah. See you later. Finish the story. Turkeys. Rubber chicken.